Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our live broadcast today. My name is Bruna Smith. I'm on the marketing team at H2O.ai, and I'd love to start off by introducing our speaker, Rafael Coss, who is a technical marketing and community maker at H2O.ai. And he'll talk about the recently launched H2O Learning Center. Welcome and thanks for being here with us today, Rafael. Before we dive into our Q&A, any initial thoughts that you would like to share with everyone watching us today?
Yeah, well, thank you, Bruna. And I'm excited to be here with everyone here on the internet, joining us from wherever channel you're kind of finding us to talk to you guys about our new learning center. So I've been with H2O.ai for almost 2 years, and one of the things that really attracted me to H2O is this mission to democratize AI, right? And our mission to democratize AI, we've been building a whole collection of tools, which is making it easier and easier for more and more people to get access, to have easier tools to kind of work with machine learning and data science. But I think the other key component in democratizing AI is knowledge, right? It's not just the tools and that they're freely available and they're on open source and that they're easy to use, but what do you do with them? How do you get started with them? How do you start in your journey, right? So there's this great career around data science and machine learning, but how do you sort of democratize knowledge around data science? And that's really where, in this mission to democratize AI, we've introduced our new learning center with that particular objective. It is helping to also democratize some of the knowledge around AI and machine learning. So H2O has had a whole collection of tutorials before that people have been that are free and sort of accessible. So we've just taken that to a whole nother new level with the new learning center, and so we'll have free self-paced a very scripted tutorials for you to follow. And we also have instructor-led courses, right? And so we have all our instructor-led courses there available. So you would have to sign up for a particular course. And we actually have 2 new courses around AI foundations, right? So those are free courses that anyone can join to get started, right? So there's 2 courses within that foundation series. One is AI Foundation, and the other one is Machine Learning Foundation. And really the difference is the first one it's basically AI for everyone, right? So if you're new to data scientist, if you're a student, if you're a working professional who's just new to AI, whether you're technical or not technical, this is really trying to give you an introduction to what is it, how does it get used. You'll see a whole collection of demos. And it's a series that's happening twice a week with some study sessions on the weekend. And that's the AI Foundations. The second one, Machine Learning Foundations, that is going to be more hands-on, and you probably need to have some R/Python skills to kind of take that particular course. And there's the other thing that we're trying to do is recognize people for their effort. And so with that recognition, we've created a whole new set of badges that you can earn by working through some of these instructions, right? So whether it's a tutorial, you can earn the badges for going through the tutorial. So you go through the tutorial, and at the end of the tutorial, there's a quiz. You pass a quiz, and you earn a badge. So all the tutorial badges are free. And so you can earn a few of them today, and we're going to add badges for all the rest of the tutorials coming soon. And similarly for courses, you can earn badges. So for this AI Foundations course or the Machine Learning Foundations course, you'll be able to earn a badge from us that you can share with folks, whether you're on LinkedIn or an employer, that you've sort of accomplished a certain level of understanding, right? So that's really what we're trying to do with this new H2O.ai Learning Center, is help not just democratize the tools, but also help democratize the skills around AI. So this is whether you're new to this area, or if you're a existing data scientist, we also kind of want to help you either take the next steps and maybe learning more about AutoML, learning more about explainability, or if you're helping a data scientist deploy machine learning models, what is this deployment? How does it work? or if you're an experienced data scientist and really what you want to do is just learn more about H2O.ai on our products, there is a learning path for everyone here. And so that's my short introduction, Bruna, into our new learning center, what we're trying to do, how we're trying to help democratize AI, not just from a tooling perspective, but also from a knowledge perspective.
Yes, that's great. So I would like to remember you guys that you can send your questions through the comments tab at any time. And I'll start with some questions that some people sent us beforehand. So you talked about this idea of H2O democratizing AI. So is there anything else that you could share about how did we come up with the idea of the Learning Center?
Yeah, I mean, and basically we have our H2O World Conference that's been going on for a long time. We have a very active meetup community. So we've had a lot of content available for folks where they can keep learning their knowledge and information around data science and machine learning. And what we really wanted to do is just make it simpler, like have a portal to where to go to find this information. And the other thing is we wanted to recognize people for the effort, right? Because it does take some effort. And so that's the second part to the Learning Center is, one is organize it. And two is, recognize people for the effort and their achievement in kind of going through the content.
Okay, thank you. We have another question here. Do I need previous knowledge in AI and ML to sign up for a class?
No, so actually that's part of the beauty, particular of the AI Foundations course, is that you don't, right? You probably need some statistical background, but it's really geared to the beginner and everybody, right? So I think folks who are maybe already started in their journey for data science and machine learning will probably still find some of the sessions interesting and valuable. So, you could, if you already have started, maybe you want to kind of select the ones that seem more interesting to you or might feel some gap in your knowledge. If you're really completely new, then sign up for the whole series and then be part of it. So the thing about these foundation series, the way it's going to work is we're going to have 2 sessions a week. We'll record them, so just in case you can't listen to it during that time, and then we'll have a study session on the weekend, right? So we're going to have 2 studies. And by the way, don't get worried. The study sessions are optional, right? But for the people who really want to learn or need that additional help, the first study session on the weekend is going to be set up sort of like a structured kind of a review of what's happening, also kind of help you make sure that you're aligned to be able to pass the quizzes associated to kind of earn that badge. And then the second study session on the weekend is going to be kind of ask me anything. Right. So I heard this, or I've been thinking about that, or what about this? Right. And again, so we're really trying to figure out, and we've done, the extended team has done a lot of thinking about how do we do this democratization, and how do we take anybody and everybody and help them on their journey. Right. So for the people who are completely new, this is how to get started. And for the people who want to kind of pick and choose from the menu and says, hey, these sessions seem interesting to me, then sign up for those.
Okay, yeah, we're getting some questions here. So Niraj, he's asking if it's required to have Foundation Python courses done prior to the AI Foundation, but like you said, I don't think that's
for the AI Foundation. You don't have to have any program skills. So you could be a business person, just a business analyst, someone who's curious about data. A biologist, just anybody who's just like, hey, I'm curious about data science, a marketing person, anyone who's just trying to get started on their journey. AI Foundations is the beginning of that journey.
Good. So we have another question here. Will these 2 courses, and I imagine he's talking about the foundation ones, cover any advanced Python topics?
Well, I think the AI Foundations, in particular with Python, we don't expect people to program. So we're going to be doing more demos and explaining the different sort of pieces in AI. and it's really kind of geared towards everyone. The second one, the machine learning foundations, absolutely, right? So we're going to dive deeper into actually building machine learning models. What are some of the techniques you can use, whether it's supervised or unsupervised? And some of it will be programming potentially in Python or R, potentially working with big data science, which is building machine learning models at scale, and kind of going through that whole. So it's actually, if you look at the two outlines, the AI foundations and machine learning foundations, they seem very similar.
Yeah.
Right. And we had to do a lot of thinking about how we peel back the onion, right? Because we can't give you everything because it can be too much. So some things will assume that you've gone through the content on AI foundations when you do machine learning foundations, or you just have the general background. But the machine learning foundations is going to be very much more hands-on, right? That's when the Python and R requirement skill is going to kick in. So if you actually want to take the machine learning foundations, I suggest you find some kind of Python or R course. You don't need to know both, but probably at least one of them, so that you can kind of work through the machine learning foundation series.
Great. And some people are asking how can they sign up?
Sure. So I mean, hopefully on wherever you're going, someone can put a link to the to both.
Yeah, we're gonna add
center
on the comment section.
Yeah, so there's a learning center. So you go to training.h2o.ai, and that'll get you to the training center. And then once you're on the training center, at the very top, you'll see AI and machine learning foundations. And there's actually two. So depending on where you're at, you can sign up for one or the other. And then remember, you can selectively choose kind of what makes sense to you, depending on where you're on your journey.
Good. We have one more question here. So a person is asking, why don't we have any video lecture? Is this something that we're looking to?
Yeah. So we wanted to, especially with this. With our situation with COVID happening, we really wanted to get some content out quickly. We had a whole sort of effort working to kind of do a whole collection of video production, but we can't, at H2O.ai, we can't go into the office, right? And so what we want to do is just get people going as soon as possible. The replays will be available. In the future, we will have just a set of modules where, a collection of videos are available and folks can kind of walk through it as sort of a self-pace. But for this first one, we really wanted to kind of have it be instructor-led, have the guidance and support sort of along the way. And so if you can't make that particular time, you can listen to the replay to kind of still participate with it. And so you will have a video available to you.
Okay, Tomas is asking, how would you describe the skill set of the person who finishes the ML path?
I think the skill set for the person who finishes the ML path is going to be someone who can define a problem. So, I know we spent a lot of time talking about not just the pure technical skills in doing data science and machine learning. It's also kind of someone who can understand and translate problems, right? So what kind of problem are you trying to solve? How do you define that problem, right? And so after that, then there's after you define the problem, it's like, okay, well, what techniques can you use to start building a solution, right? And so as you start building a solution, there's going to be a whole training phase where you train particular types of models, and then you have to kind of evaluate the results of that model. Is this a good model? Is it meeting sort of my business objectives that I'm trying to achieve with this model? We'll also be able to explain models, right? Because it's not just kind of looking at the metrics, but why is it doing this, right? In particular, when we look at automatic machine learning, why is it choosing what it's choosing, right? So we'll do some sort of building machine learning models by hand, but we'll also be sort of using and leveraging the state-of-the-art automatic machine learning to help sort of accelerate, simplify, and scale building ML models. Then there'll be the whole section on deploying that model, right? And then once you've deployed that model, lastly, and probably most importantly, well, I don't know most importantly, but you have to, if you train a model and you've deployed the model, but somehow that model is not being consumed in your business application, then your model is really not doing anything, right? Until that there's a change or an update into the business process, that's when you really start getting value from your machine learning, right? And so I think that session, at that final session, that might take us all the way through November, right? So we have a very active schedule for folks.
Yes, and can you explain a little bit more about the instructor-led classes?
So the non-foundation instructor-led courses, is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, so the instructor-led courses, we have a very active schedule of courses that we typically have been very focused on customers. And so we're going to start in July, starting to offer courses just for the general public. So at the moment, what happens is you'll find the whole menu of courses. In those, there's an option to sign up. And the sign up basically says, hey, I'm interested in this. And so we're using that sign up to kind of help us identify what courses people are most interested in. And then we're going to start scheduling public courses for folks who want to interested in those particular topics.
Okay, great. Will we talk about explainability in the Learning Center? Is anything regarding this topic?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be talking about explainability. So in the Learning Center, there's some self-paced tutorials. So if you go and check out the Driverless AI tutorial and the tutorial learning path, there is a tutorial today on machine learning interpretability, which will cover explainability. And soon in July, we'll have a part 2 to that to kind of take the next step. And both in the AI foundations and the machine learning foundations, we will have, we'll cover that topic. I think we're looking at a broader topic around responsible AI, right? So it's not just interpretability or explainability, right? We should be responsible with what we're doing with AI, right? And so trying to kind of take a more holistic view of what does that mean, right? And so we will also cover those in the foundation series.
Great. We have another question from Camila. She's asking. She says she wants to know more about predictive AI and also about supervised and unsupervised machine learning, especially about AI applications for education. She wants to know if any of the classes will cover these topics.
Yeah, so we will be definitely covering that both in the AI Foundations and Machine Learning Foundations course. And if Camila is coming from education and maybe hasn't done machine learning in the past, I would suggest Camila to take the AI Foundations, learn the basics, understand the different problems. And if she wants to get more hands-on, hopefully between now and the time that the Machine Learning Foundations, you can take a little bit of side course on Python and R to be able to take that next step in actually getting more hands-on with the technology.
Great. One more question here. Do I need previous knowledge with H2O to take the classes?
So you don't need any previous knowledge with H2O. And again, as we kind of look at this whole topic of democratizing AI, we really wanted to figure out how we make it accessible to anybody and everybody, depending on where they are in their journey. So if you're familiar with H2O, we want to help you take that next step. If you're not familiar with H2O, we want to introduce you. And if you're not familiar with AI overall, we want to help you and get you started.
That's great. So thank you, Rafael, for taking the time today. I don't know if you have any other additional information that you would like to add. I'm still looking to see if we have more questions coming in, but we have our team answering some of the questions. So yeah, just wanted to know if you want to share something else before we end the broadcast.
I guess if people are curious to learn more about the Foundation Series and the Learning Center, we do have a blog and that I put out last week on the Learning Center that talks high level about AI foundations and machine learning foundations. And, kind of the profile of the person and, when they start. I think AI Foundations here is looking at June 30th is our first session. There's actually 34 sessions in that. And again, it's free. And then the machine learning foundations actually starts August 27th, and there's 45 sessions, right? And
Wow.
there's more sessions because that's going to be even more hands-on. So this is a lot of content. The people giving these courses, they're expert data scientists. There's some Kaggle Grandmasters that's going to be coming in and helping us with these courses. Some of the folks from our training team, our technical evangelists, some of our developers. So we're really pulling together as a company to try to really take that step forward into helping democratize AI and giving this and making the knowledge available to even more people. And all the content on the Learning Center, I would stay tuned. There's going to be much more coming. This Learning Center is just the first step in our next chapter in this journey of helping to democratize AI.
Great. We have more questions coming in. So since we still have about 4 minutes, I can still read some. So Alvaro wants to know if the course covers how to bring the models into production.
Yes. So it'll be if you look at the courses itself, there's a module around taking a model into production, both in AI foundations and machine learning foundations. Absolutely.
Okay. One more question. Are we only using our products for the courses?
So for the courses, because we are from H2O, we will be using Python and R. And when you say our products, so we will be using H2O products. But one of the things, especially as you look at something like Driverless AI, for example, it's an automatic machine learning platform that's based on open source. So what does that mean? So that means that all the algorithms that we use, yes, we'll use H2O3, but we'll also use XGBoost, LightGBM, TensorFlow, PyTorch, and many more, right? So you'll be getting exposed to all those things. Also, there's a session on big data science in which we'll be kind of working and looking at technologies like Hadoop, Spark, and Kubernetes, and kind of looking at how to scale your data science in that.
Okay, great. So it's time to wrap up. Thank you, Rafael, for taking the time. We really enjoyed and loved the engagement, and I'd like to say thank you to everyone who joined us on Twitter or LinkedIn. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Rafael.
Thank you. It was great talking to folks, and I look forward to seeing folks in the Foundation series.